will create this MD file of pickleball paddle recommendations. And as you can see here, Claude Code is using the tool that we set up, getting the relevant information of how to use that tool, and then actually doing that search to get that context. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up Slack with Claude Code. There are a lot of tutorials out there already that show you how to set up Slack with an MCP, but there are advantages of using a CLI, which I've set up here, that will allow you to authenticate in a few different ways. And once you set that up, it should be easy for you to search what's on Slack, as well as have your agent, whether that be Claude Code or a different agent, search Slack on your behalf. Some companies have MCP set up, some don't, and hopefully this will make it easy for you to set that up. And here is a brief guide on how to install that. You can ask Claude Code or your agent to do it on your behalf, but I'm going to show you how to do it manually first. And it's as easy as just copying and pasting this install link, and then from this, we'll be able to set up the tool and use it for Claude Code. And so now that we have this installed, you can type in slacky and it'll walk you through how to install this. I'm going to show you how to manually install this and set this up, but you can also just ask Claude Code. Basically, ask Claude Code to install the brew package and then walk you through step by step and how to do that. But for the purpose of this, there are two main ways in which you can set up the Slack authentication. And the first one we're going to do is just the wizard. If you're working at a company and you have the ability to authenticate through a Slack app, you can just use this wizard. And I have a Slack user already logged in. I'm going to create an application. I'm going to basically walk through this step by step using the manifest. And here, I'm going to click on the test workspace that I've already set up. And then from here, if you scroll up, it'll give you the manifest that you'll just copy and paste into this window. And you won't actually have to install this app into the workspace. It will just allow you to get a user token and get all the user permissions. And the user permissions are only read only, so you don't have to worry about it accidentally writing to Slack. Once you do that, you're just going to create that. And then now that we've created this Slack app, you'll definitely need to make sure that your company allows for this. If not, you can reach out to IT if they haven't already set it up. And most companies will set this up, but if they don't have the software engineering resource to do it, you can basically tell them this is open source. You can check the code, and as well as the Slack app itself. Once you add the Slack app, it's not installing anything to the workspace. It's just getting your user token. You can click enter in. All you need to do is enter in the Slack client ID. And once you do that, it'll bring you to this portal that will just allow you to get your user token. And here it's just telling you what credentials and authentication permissions that this will use. And so I'll click allow. And here, now that we've set this up, we can now do search. And so I'm going to open up my Slack app here and I'm going to search. Let's do just from myself. And so you'll see here, there are searches. So you can now search Slack. But let's actually test this with Claude Code. Can you install the skill from slacky? Use slacky. So in the same way we had in a previous video where when we add a tool to Claude Code, it doesn't know how to use it until you add a relevant skill. And so here, I could have installed this manually, but I'm just going to tell Claude Code to do it. And so now Claude Code has done that. So can you help me search Slack and tell me the first message sent in the channel? And so now you can use it to prompt Claude Code to search Slack on your behalf. But because this is a test workspace, it's not going to be super useful. And now that Claude Code knows how to use this, they can basically search Slack. And so this is the easy way to do it. But I'm going to show you another way you can authenticate where you might not have the ability to set up a Slack app. And so here you'll basically now see how they do this. And I'm going to exit this out and I'm going to open up a new Claude Code session. And now that we have the skill set up, we can ask Slack, and I'm going to use voice to text, and I have a video on this previously so that you can set this up as well and then not just talk to Claude Code. I'm going to do Option W. Hey Claude, can you help me figure out how to set up a new Slack workspace using Slacky and how to use the browser session authentication? And then I'll click enter, and let's go back to Chrome because I already know how to do this and I'll walk you through this, but they can also walk you through this as well. And so here is the channel that I had where I just set up the Slack app, but I've also set up a few other workspaces that we can use and test out this tool that Claude Code can use. And so the one we're going to be going through today is just a New York City pickleball one. And here it'll tell me how to do that wizard. And for the purpose of this, I'm going to go into this window I already have set up. And here I'm going to ask Claude Code how to set this up. So I'm currently in the browser and I'm in the developer tools. Can you walk me through what I need to do in the console now? So you can just basically ask Claude Code to walk you through that. I'm going to skip a few steps just to make it a little bit more straightforward and easy, but you can see some of the harder tasks of how to set this up. And so here, in order to get to the screen, you'll click on the ... and the wizard will show you this as well. You go to click on more tools and you click on developer tools. Or you can also do the Option Command I and it'll bring you to this screen right here. So in the browser, in order to get the tokens that you need in order to the browser session authentication, you're gonna need to type in allow pasting. That will allow you to now paste in this right here. And then from that, you can get the actual tokens that you need. And here it'll give me 3 tokens, but I'm gonna use this last one right here. And for this test, obviously I'm gonna log out so that these tokens can't be used. So keep these secure, but for the purpose of this demo, I'll show you this. And then the second thing that they'll tell me to do is we're gonna go into the console. So here at the top, you'll see this arrow. You're gonna go into application, and then we're gonna go to cookies. And then in here, let's expand this. You'll see this D here, and the wizard will tell you how to do that. We're gonna double click on that, and then can you import these in for me? And so that's basically how you set up the authentication through the browser. And this is not the recommended approach, but for this demo where we're using a public Slack, where we can also get context from public Slacks that you're already in, but you can also use this for, let's say, if you don't have the ability to access your Slack app or install a Slack app, the recommended approach is still to use the Slack app approach. And then here, now Claude Code will set that up. And as Claude is doing this, it also recommends after we test this out to sign out all other sessions. So this is an important thing, and that's what I'm going to do after we do this demo. And so now that this is working, so it'll tell you what you can do, and you can basically switch profiles. But for the purpose of this demo, the thing that we want to focus on is how to use Claude Code to get context really quickly. And so here, I'm going to exit this out again and start a new Claude Code session. But actually, before I do that, we can also run this to see which ones are enabled. And so now you'll see that we have a work browser. And so now I'm going to go into Claude Code again. Can you search Slack for a paddle recommendation and see what people are recommending for good paddles to get for pickleball? And so again, I just use my voice to text, which is free. I have a video on that. And then once you set that up, now we can just talk. And now Claude Code will find that context for you. And let's say you're in a work setting, you don't know how to set something up. You can ask Claude Code, can you search Slack and find me recent messages about how to set something up? Let's say a new strategy that's going on, you can basically do that as well. And so here you'll now see Claude Code doing that search. And after it finishes that search, it'll summarize that for you. And We can also have Claude Code document this in a Obsidian MD file. So I'm going to do that now. Hey Claude, can you create a new MD file that documents this so I can remember this in the future? And so let's open Obsidian, and I have another video on that too. And so you'll see here, Claude is going to create this new MD file in the resources. And we've had a few videos on how to set up Obsidian, how to set it up with Claude Code. And we're just extending that here now so that we can basically get context really quickly from Claude Code. And a previous video, I also had one around how you can get context really quickly from YouTube. And then from that, we now are able to connect all those separate pieces together using Claude Code to generate new informations for you, either setting up a Kanban board so that you can manage your schedule, your projects, get context, summarize it for you, make it easy for you to read, and that's the demo.